same beats, and you're kind of doing like this reimagining of Star Wars, like a soft reboot. I know I don't want to use that as a description, but it really is kind of a soft reboot. It's like it's a reimagining while not actually rebooting the series, because I felt like I was watching Star Wars for the first time again. But anyway, back to what I'm saying is, like, like if they're following those footsteps, I mean, there are twins. You have Luke and Leia, and in this instance, you have Ben and Rey, right? So you have Ben Solo and Rey Solo, or Organa. I don't know what they're going with, but the reality is, I think you have a set of twins, and I think that she is definitely somebody who was trained in the Force already, and throughout the movie, you feel like she's kind of remembering, her training. So I mean, I don't think it's really possible, or it's something that you could do like just on your own, just to the fucking I think I can use the Jedi mind trick here. Let's try it out. Like, I think she just remembered that she could do that. And then later on when she's fighting Kylo Ren and she kind of goes into that Force meditation where she closes her eyes and just kind of like lets that tranquility come over her, and then she just fucking goes bonkers on him and like almost kills him. Like, that's a scene where I feel like she was remembering her training. So, yeah, I think Luke totally just mind wiped people and planted her on Jakku and just left her there so that she wouldn't be discovered. And I think he exiled himself because he's the only one that knows where she is. I believe he couldn't be around Leia or Han, especially Leia, because she would have sensed it in the Force that he was hiding something. And she would have remembered just being around him that she had a daughter as well. And it's just, to me, it's interesting. I mean, you had that big long hug between Leia and Rey. They had never met before. I thought that was really strange, but if my theory is correct, it makes a lot of sense. So I mean, you've got some things, man. You got some things that point to it. I think my theory is sound. I think I'm right, but I think many people that have theories think that they're right. It's the whole point of having a theory, right? I don't have multiple theories. If I had multiple theories, then I would think that maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not. I mean, the only other theory that it could be is that she is the son of Luke. But that makes no sense, because who the hell is Luke with? Like, he doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have a woman that he was with. We don't know that in 32 years he didn't sleep with somebody, but geez, does it make sense? Not really. It doesn't. She could be, oh boy, this is greatness at work. You're witnessing Cooley coming up with another theory, and that's, I guess it's possible that she is another immaculate conception, like Anakin. Anakin was basically born of the Force. Is it possible that Rey was also born of the Force? Sure. But yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so personally. I think it's possible. I just thought of it, right? But I don't think so. I think that Rey is literally a twin of Kylo Ren, because Kylo Ren recognized something too. I don't think he knew exactly what, but he recognized something in her and wanted her to join him, right? And that just seems like the same kind of feeling that you get from Vader saying, join me and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son, right? Like, that is something that, that's a family thing, a legacy thing in Star Wars. So because they're following this whole legacy idea, I mean, it makes sense to me. You have Kylo Ren reaching out to Rey and saying, join me, right? And help me, right? I can teach you how to use the Force. You need to learn. You need a teacher, right? To me, it's just classic. It's got to be family. And we know that she's going to turn out to be a major player, and she's somebody's kid, right? Or she's nobody's kid. So, I mean, Star Wars is the eternal mindfuck. That's all I got to say. So anyway, those are the new heroes that this trilogy is going to be based on and built around. The movie was exciting. It was fantastic. I was sitting there with my eyes glued to the screen the whole time. I literally had to take a piss like about an hour in, and I just held it. It was painful, but it hurt so good because I sat there and I enjoyed every single minute of it. I mean, there were scenes that just blew me away, things that couldn't have been done years ago, but they were done with practical effects, as they should be. I mean, if you look at, let's just step out of the Star Wars realm for a second and just go to The Matrix, right? The Matrix is the most recent evidence that I have that you should not try to fix what isn't broken. Look at The Matrix 1, right? Just The Matrix. And then you look at like the Matrix Reloaded and the Matrix, what was it, Revelations or whatever the fuck it was. It was night and day. You had this awesome 360 camera technology that you just completely fucking disposed of after it became such a major reason why that movie was a hit. Right? And you just dispose of it and go full CGI because it's cheaper, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you got more of a budget so you could hire more of a team that could do things in CGI, and you wanted to have their reasoning was that, hey, you're inside a computer, so it should be computer effects and not. But no, fuck that. I mean, the thing that made The Matrix so magical was the fact that you were never removed from the viewing experience. You were always like right there. Like it was always the same stuff going on. Like you're looking at Keanu Reeves and then you start getting into these like, bullet time motions and stuff like that, but you're still watching Keanu Reeves. You're not watching a fucking CGI model of Keanu Reeves, right? So same thing with Star Wars. When you start seeing like things like come out of nowhere that are all CGI rendered, it takes you out of that viewing experience. And we didn't have to deal with that with this because everything was practical effects, makeup, and there were some things that were CGI, but they worked as CGI. It's one of the only things that I think they got right in episodes 1, 2, and 3 is going full CGI for Yoda, because having a puppet walk around is more frustrating than watching a CGI render of a character, especially a non-human character, because it's so much easier to make an alien believable in CGI. Plus you have the master of motion capture, Caesar the chimp himself, Andy Serkis, who is on board teaching people how to be awesome in their motion capture suits. Good shit. It was really good shit. But most of the special effects, as we all know, were actually practical effects, and it looked awesome. My hat's off to J.J. Abrams. I think he did a phenomenal job in bringing us into the next chapter of the Star Wars saga. The Force is back stronger than ever. And yes, we are going to continue to talk about this on the Redbeard podcast. So I'm kind of going to hang it up right now. I'm not going to keep going because I want to save some of it for after Tony sees it so we can actually discuss on the show. And I'm sure he'll listen to what I'm talking about and he'll have theories about my theories, and he'll probably shut me down on some things and have his own things to say. So I really want to get into that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to roll right into some post-movie thoughts from the fans. And I'll be back to wrap up the show right after with a few thoughts about what was going on this week for me, all right? See you soon. So what'd you think of the movie?
I think that it was just absolutely amazing. It was what I was looking for when I saw the other sequels of Star Wars, and everything was just done super smart and in a way that was enjoyable for both fans, new and old.
What's your favorite part?
I would say that my favorite part is actually in the intro, where we first start kind of seeing all these characters in a way that we don't know how any of them mean anything to anything else, and the reaction that we see in certain characters in the movie, specifically John Boyega's Finn as a stormtrooper at the very intro of the movie, acting very un-stormtrooper-esque.
Right. I agree. You, who do you think stole the show?
I honestly think Luke stole the show.
Wow. Okay. The guy with no lines stole the show.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
His presence alone was enough that the second that you knew it was him, everybody was applauding and standing up and in an uproar in a good way.
All right. Cool, man. Well, thanks. Can I get your post movie reaction?
I think it was BB great.
BB great. That's
thought,
one for the records, man.
I thought it was excellent. I thought it was very, very good. It was great. Right. It retold a lot of the storylines from New Hope in a really good, fresh way, and it set everything up really, really well. And I need to see it again tomorrow immediately.
Favorite scene?
Throwing Captain Phasma in the trash can. I don't know. The thing I keep going back to is when Rey got the lightsaber and there's that weird flashbacky scene with Yoda's voice and everyone's voice.
Okay.
I want to have that in my house so I can rewatch it a few more times.
Okay. All right. And who stole the show?
Oh, Harrison Ford, hands down.
All right.
Hands down.
Nice. First of all, I'd just like to get your post-movie reaction.
I thought it was a good film, and I thought that they handled the source material respectfully, and I enjoyed it. But I thought it was a little bit predictable, that you could, there were so many elements from the past that were brought in that it made it a little more predictable. You know what I mean?
All right.
And they inverted some things, so it's sort of like it's like an homage, and moving forward it would be nice to see the story open up a little bit and go in a new direction.
So kind of like they followed a template almost, like...
They came off of a formula, but that's what you do, with first films anyway, so I'm cool with it.
All right.
I'm cool
so
with it.
What was your favorite scene?
I like the scene where, I like the scenes of where the young Jedi discovers herself.
Okay.
It's great.
When she touches the lightsaber, or when she starts to figure out that she's got
when
the
she's
touch?
fighting. Well, both. My favorite scene is with Han Solo's kid and her, and when he discovers that she's for real. That was very compelling, right?
Right. I thought so too. I agree.
I mean, I thought that was I thought that was well handled, and I thought that what's the name of the bad guy?
Kylo Ren?
Kylo Ren. So I thought the dude playing Kylo Ren from Girls.
Yes. That's all I could see is Adam Driver. Playing Adam from Girls.
Adam Driver.
But he's bad.
I'm bad with names right now, but Adam Driver, I thought he was great.
Yeah.
And I thought that the energy he captured was great because it really was conflicted.
He had a bit of a limp, right? Like...
he had this frenetic energy, and even his lightsaber reflected that emotional kind of conflict, which he was great at conveying.
So would you say that he stole the show? Like he was like your show stealer? Or
I think he was fantastic.
Awesome.
I think they've got the two main characters, down, and it was great. I thought, it was great. It was a great polished film, great film.
Good setup, right?
Good setup.
Yeah.
And fresh, and J.J. Abrams is, deserves a lot of props for what he did.
Awesome.
My only thing with the Force and the dark side and the light side, and what I find emotionally compelling, is sort of the power of goodness is this resolute resignation to do what's right, no matter what. It's not anger; it's the opposite of anger. It's clarity. Right. And I thought that actually in the other films they kind of squandered the opportunity to show that.
All right.
Do you know what I mean? Like when Ewan McGregor was beating up on
the
Darth
prequel
Maul.
movies.
Yeah, the prequel movies.
That I don't recognize.
I know. Yeah, me too.
I just, me too. Yeah. The Phantom Edit is the only version that I'll watch because it basically cuts out the entire episode 1, most of episode 2, and then I get the meat of the transformation.
I agree, and it was almost mildly offensive.
Agreed.
Like the stereotypes, and I thought it was really weird and bad. But I thought that they missed the biggest missed opportunity in the mythos of the Jedi was to get pissed off and win the fight. That's the opposite of what it's about, right?
Right.
And what was compelling about Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, the thing that set it all off when we first saw the lightsaber duel, and the thing that was totally gripping about it, is you had a bad guy who was full of bad intentions, and you had a good guy who was resigned to doing what he had to do, and was at peace.
Right.
Now that is gripping stuff. And they sort of got that with her. She was still a little pissed off. I think if you saw a good guy get fully in touch with being tranquil and kicking ass, that would be mesmerizing.
Well, yeah, because she did put that little frown on her face that kind of broke the illusion of it just being
the continuity.
Peace.
And I wanted that. I wanted Ewan McGregor's character to calm down in the fight, calm down, not get pissed off, but calm down, find the center, the emotional center, and then win.
Awesome, man.
Because that's dropping fire on the whole thing, right?
Agreed.
You feel that deeply, and it resonates. So anyway, that was my 2 cents.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and thanks for your time, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no, please.
That was really good insight, man. I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
You too. What's up, man?
What's up, man? I wanted to get my insight on the one.
Now that you've seen it.
Now that I've seen it.
What's up? So 3 questions for you.
Okay.
Post movie, your reaction. How was it? What did you think?
I had two things. I honestly had two feels to this. I loved it because of like how they made it and everything, but I was kind of disappointed at some things that happened.